News from the state this afternoon. Selma police are on the hunt for a shooting suspect after an officer was shot and killed early this morning. That officer's now been identified as Marquise Moore. According to Dallas County District Attorney Michael Jackson, this incident happened around 4 a.m. Moore was on duty but went home for a lunch break. Jackson tells us the officer was shot and killed at the Selma Square apartments here. Another victim, the officer's significant other, was injured and taken to the hospital for treatment. It's obviously an ongoing investigation, one we'll continue following for you.
This story comes to us from WSFA.com. Jackson said the shooting happened at Selma Square Apartments, not far from Citizens Parkway. Jackson said the officer's death and the injury of his female companion was an ambush and said whoever is responsible will face capital murder and attempted murder charges once taken into custody. The Alabama Law Enforcement Agency's State Bureau of Investigation has taken the lead on the case, according to Selma Mayor James Perkins, Jr. ALEA Secretary Howell Taylor says the department is committed to apprehending the suspect or suspects involved by saying, quote, "I want to assure everyone that we are absolutely committed to utilizing all available resources to apprehend the suspect or suspects involved in this horrendous tragedy. We are fully involved in the investigation and are currently taking all the necessary steps to ensure every facet of this case is handled with care and diligence, but is conducted in a manner that brings justice to bear both quickly and swiftly." And there's some more to the story. It drops down a little farther. I didn't read all the way down the bottom. It talks about cops who go out and put their lives on the line and so forth. And so you can read it if you click the link below in the description box. But you know, I covered this one because it seems like even though we're in 2021, 2020 is still bleeding over. You know, all the protests that we had, the George Floyd, the riots, the lootings, the burnings. It seems like the violence is still continuing. 2020 is still bleeding into this year, literally, with shootings and ambushes. I believe that it's going to take another whole year or more for this country to get back to normal. I do commend the law enforcement agencies that are taking action against bad cops. I know that it's kind of bittersweet. I mean, some of the cops aren't getting the punishment nor the convictions that warrant their behavior because, you know, we as non-law enforcement individuals would probably get more time or get more punishment. But you know what? You're seeing now more police officers, more law enforcement being held accountable than ever before because of 2020 and what's going on even this year. You know, we're seeing more law enforcement being held accountable, but at the same time, we're still seeing more violence on law enforcement officers. And again, you sort of got to blame the bad cops for that, the Derek Chauvin types, those cops out of Aurora, Colorado that pistol whipped a guy. How's that going to help the community trust law enforcement? It's not. Everybody now is blaming the police department. Every police department in the nation now is being called tyrants, thugs, and terrorists simply because of some cops in Aurora, Colorado. And so all the law enforcement officers that watch my videos, you see how it works. Cops in Aurora, Colorado pistol whip a guy when they didn't have to do that. They could have held him down and arrested him. Well, he was not complying. He wasn't really fighting them. So what? He was tensing up and stuff. Don't pistol whip the guy. But because of those cops in Aurora, Colorado, now all cops in the nation are being profiled and judged and lumped into one pot. And that's how it works. And unfortunately, cops like Marquise Moore pay the price. What am I saying? Even you law enforcement officers, when you're on the job, see something, say something. One of your buddies is doing wrong, you go, whoa, what, What do you all think? Let me know in the comment section below. Community Leo Watch, watching law enforcement officers.